Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to film another everyday makeup look. Like I told you guys in my last tutorial where I did an everyday look, it was more of an everyday glam look. And I told you guys in that video that I wanted to show you guys my everyday natural makeup look. This is probably my most worn look to work or just when I'm not filming and I'm just out and about running errands. So if you would like to see how to do this look, just keep on watching and I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So I just have my coffee and I'm getting ready before I go to work. I already moisturized my face off camera with my First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer and my Biore sunscreen, so I'll have those linked down below. I'm gonna go ahead and do my foundation first today before I do my eye makeup, because since I'm doing a look that's really natural and everyday, I don't have to worry about fallout or anything like that. So I start with my foundation first. And I'm going to be using a mix of the Flower Beauty Light Illusion with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Now this Flower Beauty is in the shade L1 and it's a little like, I don't know, the color isn't the right shade for me. Like it's kind of, it needs to be a little bit more neutral. So that's why I'm mixing this. This is in the shade 202 Creamy Natural and it's definitely more of a neutral undertone. I'm just blending my foundation in with my Wet n Wild beauty sponge, and this is, I've already dampened it off camera. And I've really just fallen in love with this makeup sponge. Like I just really like the feel of it. Like it's really soft and squishy whenever you get it wet. And I like the design of it. Like I like how the bottom's big, just like the Beauty Blender. But I like how this top comes to like a point, but I also like the fact that it is flat. It's kind of like the best of both worlds for me. It's like a mix of the Beauty Blender and the Real Techniques makeup sponge. So this is definitely becoming like my all-time favorite makeup sponge. And it was really affordable. I want to say it was like $3.99 or something like that for this makeup sponge. It was pretty affordable, definitely cheaper than Real Techniques and the Beauty Blender. So, and then for my concealer, I'm going to be using the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. And actually, before I use this, I'm going to use this Becca. I know this is like one of the non-drugstore things I'm using, these two Becca items, but the rest of the stuff I'm using today is drugstore. But this is their anti-fatigue under eye primer, and you wouldn't necessarily have to use this stuff, but I just feel like these things make my under eyes look really nice. Like I feel like it smooths out like my little fine lines that I have on my under eyes, and it just helps my under eyes to look more hydrated. I don't know, it just helps them to look younger. So I'm just patting that on, just kind of rubbing it in. And I did test this out the other day, which I need to test this out a little more. This was sent to me from Pure to test out and review. And this is their Hydrogel Lift like under eye primer stuff. It's supposed to be kind of like this Becca stuff, but it's in a stick form. Now this does feel really cooling when you use it on your under eyes. It feels really nice. And it does feel moisturizing when you first put it on. But I guess because it's a primer, it kind of like, when I put my concealer over it, it almost dries my under eyes out a little bit, like because it kind of locks the concealer onto the under eye area and keeps it there all day. So I feel like this product would be really great for somebody that has very oily skin and has trouble with their under eye concealers like staying in place all day. I think this would be a good product for that, but for me it is too drying. I have to have something hydrating on my under eyes or it's like it just ages me. So for me that doesn't really work, but like I said, I feel like if you had oily skin it probably would work a lot better. So now I'm just going with my concealer, and this is in the shade Fair L1-2. As always, I will have everything linked down in the description box for you guys. So if you're ever curious about a shade I used or like what product, like if you need to recall what product I used, just you know, expand the description box, and I'll have everything listed and linked down below. And then I'm gonna set my under eyes with this. This is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. Like I said, these are the only two non-drugstore items that I'm using. If you wanted to use a drugstore item, I would normally use my e.l.f. Under Eye Setting Powder. But I have to say, since I've been using this, I've been loving this stuff so much more than the e.l.f. powder. I mean, the e.l.f. powder is a good drugstore alternative if you can't afford this Becca. But if you have, you know, a little bit more mature skin, especially with your under eyes, or if you have a lot of fine lines and you need to smooth that area out, I highly recommend this Becca powder because it just makes my under eyes look so much better than the e.l.f. Then to set my face, I'm going to use this Flower Beauty Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. And I have been loving this stuff ever since I used it in my Flower Beauty One Brand makeup tutorial. So this is just an illuminating setting powder, and it does have very tiny, like, little shimmers in it. And I do notice that if you're in direct sunlight, you can notice them a little bit on the skin, but for me, that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, because it's not like you're in direct sunlight all day long, and even if you see it in direct sunlight, it's whatever. Because I've really just been enjoying the way it makes my foundation look. Like, it just looks so diffused and like gives it a healthy glow. And I will say that the little shimmers that are in this product are a lot smaller than, there was like another setting powder that I used to use. It was the Milani, let me grab it. It was this stuff, the Milani Radiant. This is their Make It Last setting powder, and I used to use this for like the same thing, but this definitely has way bigger like little shimmers in it than this Flower product. So if you did enjoy that Milani setting powder for like an illuminating finishing powder, but the little shimmers were too noticeable for you, I do recommend this Flower Beauty setting powder. And then I'm just gonna comb through my eyebrows. And then since I'm doing like a really minimal look today, the only thing that I'm going to put on my brows is this Almay Brow Styler. This is the clear one, like their clear brow gel. You could always just fill your brows in however you would like whenever you do a more natural look. Then I'm just going to prime my eyelids with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. Like, if I'm in a really big rush, I might skip this step just because for me, I mean, it does help my eyeshadows to last longer whenever I use an eyeshadow primer. But me personally, I don't have a lot of issues with my eyeshadows creasing, even if I don't use a primer. So I mostly use a primer just for longevity and not for like creasing issues. So, like I said, if I'm in a hurry and I don't really care that much, I might skip this step just because it's like, whatever, this is an everyday look. So if it kind of fades a little bit, it's not a huge deal for me. And then I'll zoom you guys in for this part, but this is such a simple eye look, I really don't need to zoom in for you guys. But I'm just going to be using my Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Sunkissed. And you could use whatever bronzer you're using on your face for this step. And I'm using my Morphe R37 brush. And literally all I do is just blend this, like focus it more in the outer V. I also take it, you know, on the lid a little bit in the crease. But the part where I focus most of the product, like I said, is in the outer V area. But I just love this brush because it applies it so fast and it like blends it out really nice and easy. So this is great when you're in a rush and you need to do, you know, your eye makeup really fast. Like you want to put something on your eyelids just to give your eyes a little bit of definition, but you know, you don't have a lot of time. This is great. And I just love using my bronzer as an eyeshadow all of the time. Like especially on an everyday basis. It's just fast and easy and it just makes your eyes look nice, more put together. And like I said, gives them a little bit more definition. I'll take a little bit more of the bronzer. Just smudge that. And then sometimes I'll take a little bit more of that same bronzer and get it on a brush that's a little bit more precise and focus it more in the outer V. So now I'm just using my Sigma E25 blending. If you don't have this brush, or if you don't want to spend the money on this brush, you could use the Morphe M433. Either one of those would work. They're the same like shaped brush. I just find that like the Sigma one holds its shape a little better than the Morphe one, but I use them for the same like eyeshadow placement. And that is like literally all I do for the eye makeup. Sometimes I might use whatever highlight I'm using to highlight my inner corner or like my brow bone, but that's literally it. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes up and apply some mascara. And I have been enjoying this mascara so much ever since that Flower Beauty tutorial. Like, it does remind me a lot of my Maybelline Lash Sensational, but I find with this, it's even more separating, and it's a little more like natural, kind of like flirty looking if you don't apply like a ton of it. Now, my lashes are pretty long, so I'm not for sure how this mascara would perform on somebody with like shorter lashes, but I feel like this would be a great mascara all around for any type of lashes, just because it seems like it does a great job of separating and lengthening and giving you a little bit of volume, like without it being clumpy looking. And I also haven't had any issues with it smudging on me or flaking, so it's been all around like a really great mascara. So now I'm moving on to the rest of the face, and I'm using my same Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in Sunkissed. And I'm just going to bronze my face up, and I'm using my Morphe M530 brush. Sometimes if like I'm in a super pinch and I don't have a lot of time to get ready, I'll even like skip my blush and just apply a little bit more bronzer. Or if I'm not feeling like I want to use bronzer, I'll just skip the bronzer and just use blush. So that's what I will do if I'm in a hurry and need to get out the door, but still, you know, want to put some makeup on so I look a little bit more alive, or, you know, just a little bit more myself. And if you're curious about how my lashes are so long, most of you guys do know, but I use the Grande Lash MD, and I have been using this stuff since June of last year. Not this exact tube. This is my third like tube. I had a full size one, like a little mini one, and now another full size. This one was sent to me for free from Octoly through Octoly from Grande Cosmetics. You guys know I love this stuff so much, and if I can get it for free, like, why not? But yeah, I would totally pay full price for that. And the little mini set that I got of it, I bought it from Sephora like at Christmas time. So yeah, I know we're getting ready to head into the Sephora VIB spring sale. This is like a great time to get it because you can get it at a discount. The Grande Cosmetics Grande Lash MD. So yeah, if you have trouble with your lashes like being long, highly recommend that stuff, because if you go back and watch some of like my really old videos, like go check them like back in 2014, you know, even 2015, 2011, look at my lashes then and now. It's a huge difference. So this stuff really does work if you use it every single night. You have to use it every single night for it to work. If you don't, you're not going to get the full results. So highly recommend it, but you have to use it. Okay, for my blush, I'm going to use this Flower Beauty Flower Pots powder blush in the color Sweet Pea. And once again, this is another Flower Beauty product that I have been loving. This blush color is just like my go-to favorite kind of everyday mauve. And I'm applying this with my Morphe R10. But yeah, if I wasn't using this blush, I probably would be using my my Wet n Wild Rosé Champagne Blush or like my Milani Rose Powder Blush in Tea Rose. I love those blushes for like an everyday blush color. Then another Flower Beauty product that I've been loving is this highlighting palette. I just love this shade right here. It really gives you that lit from within glow, which honestly I have to say I was really surprised at how much I love the highlights in here. Like, they are just beautiful. They do not look powdery on the skin or glittery. They don't emphasize texture, if I could speak. Like, they're just gorgeous. And you need like the smallest amount. What I usually do is just start out with a little bit of it at first and then build it up, because these highlights are super intense and you don't need a lot of it at first. And I'm just using my Real Techniques contour brush to apply it. But I definitely love this shade down here the most. It's just like my perfect shade. And I did pick up the Master Chrome by Maybelline. This is the shade 250. It was the one that was in collaboration with Nikki Tutorials. But yeah, I finally found this. And I have been looking for that highlight forever, but it's like I've been loving this so much I haven't even used that Maybelline one yet. So, and I wanted to use products today in this video that I have been using on an everyday basis, because, you know, they're like my favorite products right now. But yeah, this highlight is just beautiful. And then I'll take a little more of it and put it on my Cupid's bow. A little bit here on my nose. And then sometimes I'll take a little bit more of this highlight. I'll even like kind of dust it like up here if I really want to look extra like highlighted and glowy. And then yesterday I used some of this for like my inner corner highlight and like my brow bone highlight, and it looked beautiful. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of that just right in here. It really just opens your eyes up that much more. And then I just get like the tiniest amount of it on my brush, because if you go in heavy-handed, it's going to be like a strip of highlight, and you don't want that, especially for this type of look, because this is more of like a natural everyday sort of look. And honestly, I probably took this highlight in a little too far over here. And then for my lips, I'm going to do a more hydrating lip product today. I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Send Nudes. This is their High Shine lipstick. This is just one of my go-to everyday colors. Like, it looks beautiful. It lasts on the lips for a decent amount of time. Like, this will last on my lips probably 3 or 4 hours, and it's a gloss. So it's kind of like a cross between a gloss and a lipstick. And I'm just lining my lips with the NYX lip liner in Sandstorm. And I'm just going in with the Wet n Wild High Shine lipstick in Send Nudes. But it just feels so nice and hydrating on the lips. Like, I absolutely love this color. Then the last step is to set everything. Another Flower Beauty product I've been loving. This is the Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray. The mister on this is the best mister from the drugstore, or even from some high-end setting sprays that I have used. It is just so fine. It's so fine, girlfriend. But yeah, I'm just gonna use this to set my makeup.